guys, just wanted to welcome you back for another video. I'm going to do a very super quick intro for this next project, part of that Dollar Tree flip, and then I will come back for a more detailed recap. So what I've done is I've taken the remaining 12 sheets of paper from that 6x6 pack, cut them in half, and I am working on using them up along with more of the card bases that I cut out from that pack of 12 by 12 that I'm also trying to stash bust. So just going to get into the super quick process, and like I said, I will meet you back for a more detailed recap. So hopefully you guys are crafting along, hopefully you're stash busting. If not, hopefully grab some coffee and have a moment just to sit and chill and watch the process. All right, I will meet you back for the recap. All right, I have finished part 2 of the big stash busting project that I was working on to make a big batch of girl cards. And I'll do a quick recap of what I used again, and then I'll do a flip through for the cards. Kept the layouts extremely basic, extremely simple, because I am in the process of making large batches of cards. I don't want to have to stop and think, you know, what layout do I want for this one or that one. So I'm just falling back on my go-to layout. But again, I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, for a quick recap, I had about 3.5 sheets of these little stickers from the Dollar Tree. I have had these for at least 5 or more years. I can't remember exactly when I got them, but it's been about 4 or 5 years since I picked them up from the Dollar Tree. I also used 24 more card bases out of the stack of 12 by 12 cardstock that I had cut down to make the 40 card bases that I have started with in this project. So 12 had gone to that mini Dollar Tree stash busting flip project where I had used the stickers for the mermaids to make the cards for the girls for that. So if you missed that one, I'll link that video down in the description box because that one came out first. So again, I used 12 card bases for that, 24 here, and the remainder of the card bases. I don't know off the top of my head how many I have left, but not a lot. I've used most of it, so I feel really good, especially for how long I've had these things in the craft room. So that is whittling down. Then this is the only new item that I brought in. This is still that absolutely surprisingly amazing pack of cardstock from the Dollar Tree. Check your local cheap shop. They may be carrying something like this because I feel this is one basic manufacturer probably sends this stuff out around globally, because a lot of the things I see in videos for my friends overseas is very similar to the stuff that we have here. So I feel pretty confident that you'll find something either by this brand or comparable to this brand. But really, really amazing colors. As you can see kind of off to the side here, the colors are as vibrant as the little cover sheet shows you. So I was very, very happy to see that. Much thicker, better quality cardstock than some of the other packs that they have come out with earlier. Not that they're bad, but when you want something that you need to be a little bit more heavy duty, those early sheets are too thin in my opinion. But if they work for you, that's perfect. So really nice cardstock. Again, 24 sheets, 2 of each pattern. So you get the 24 with that. Great quality. The colors are incredible. So definitely worth getting a hold of, especially since this is $1.25. You cannot beat, I don't know anywhere else that you can get a 6x6 set of papers, good quality, good colors for $1.25. It is amazing. So if nothing else, the price point, you know, might incite you to go check out your local cheap shops for craft supplies, because they are seriously stepping up their game. And that, I think that makes all of us extremely happy, because anywhere we can save money is a fantastic day. So this is all I have left of the whole card pack that I just showed you. And these will get turned into cards. I like using up the scraps to make cards. Probably will make another 2 or 3 rainbow cards like I did. Dawn at Shiny Silver Treasures, she had Nature's Treasures, I believe it was the very first year her shop was online, so that was back in the summer of 2022, I believe. She had done a whole bunch of alcohol inks, turned it into digital papers or printed papers, and I took the scraps and made rainbow cards out of it. I was inspired by the old name, like those old little rainbow hearts where it had your name on it from back in the 80s. I still actually have mine. I think I pictured it at the end with the cards because that was the source of inspiration. I had been digging through my jewelry box, my old jewelry box, and I found that little pin and I love it. So anyway, I'll probably do something along those lines just to actually use up the last of this. But for the moment, for today's project, this is what I have left. So I took the remaining 12 sheets that I had from here, just cut them in half, just straight cut them in half, didn't cut them down any smaller than that, and used them either in a landscape layout with the cards or a portrait or vertical layout, just to use it up. And again, if you're making making cards, or you have to make a lot of cards and you don't have a lot of time, try sticking to one, maybe two layouts, two very basic layouts, and then you don't have to think about it. You can just lay the background papers. That's what I did. I attached all the background papers in the direction I wanted it to go. Then I came in with the Love from Lizzie peel-offs to add that little detail to it. Then I came in with the embellishments. Then I finished it off with either Nouveau drops in the jewel tones. I think there was a couple of their regular Nouveau. They weren't jewel tone, but they were, I used the purple one, I think it was. And then I also used some pearl drops that I have. I'm trying to get back into using my Nouveaux because I have so many and they're just sitting here and I don't want them to go bad before I use them up. So another thing that I went into, and something perhaps to keep in mind if you're getting into card making and selling them at craft shows or online or whatever way that you're trying to pick up a little side business, I have had a lot of people ask at the craft shows, do you have cards for son? Do you have cards for daughter, mom, cousin, something like that? So what I'm slowly doing is I'm not necessarily making more cards for each category, but rather breaking them out into little subcategories. So like all the girls I'll make little tabs that says granddaughter, niece, daughter, whatever categories I have here on the cards. I'm going to make little sub tags for each section because more and more I'm getting a lot of people asking for that at the craft show. So something to keep in mind if you're going to be dipping into the craft show business, that you may also get requests if you do sell a lot of cards. So, all right, so let me just start flipping through the first stack. And like I said, I'm still absolutely blown away by how vibrant the colors are on these papers. And I want to go to the Dollar Tree and get more now, but I'm going to wait till I need to go to get more, and hopefully they still have it in stock because all the good stuff, as you know, it gets snapped up super quick. So hopefully you're able to get a hold of some for yourself or at your local cheap shop that is the similar quality for a really, you cannot beat that price. I don't know of any online store, unless they're having some big blowout sale, that will sell you a pack of 6x6 papers for $1.25. So just saying. Okay, so the first subject that I'm going to showcase or show you the layouts on the cards are for the granddaughter. And I did Happy Birthday Granddaughter. I did a massive bunch of stamping in different categories. And then as I'm using them, I'm going through and cutting them all up. I think I'm caught up to date on that. I think I got everything that was ready to go chopped down. And then I just, as you saw in the video, I kind of fixed the edges because when I cut them apart, I didn't worry about were they straight then. I just separated them out and then I just came in and cleaned up the edges as I was getting ready to attach them to the cards. But it just makes life so much easier if you have sentiments and stuff ready to go, or mostly ready to go in this case. Then I just edged them in, a coordinating color or an opposite color, just to kind of break the sentiments out of that background or off of the white space, depending on which layout they went on. So like a lot of these are the landscape layout, and then I do have some with the vertical or portrait. And again, just colored it so it kind of lifted that, gave it the appearance of dimension without adding any to the sentiment, so it's easy enough to see what it says. And just literally kept the layouts almost identical with a few variations from side to side, or the angle of the dragonfly. Again, so I did not have to think about it in all of the cards that I still need to make for the craft show. I have a lot that are already done, but I still need a lot of categories. So that was the thinking behind just going with similar. I mean, this is probably about the closest you'll get to me doing, I don't know what you would call it, like manufactured style cards. I don't want to say it quite like that because it makes it sound like it's a bad thing, and that's not it. But brain is not working in terms of my mental dictionary. So this was all that I had set aside for the granddaughter category. And I'm telling you, man, the colors are just phenomenal. My eyes are amazed every time I'm looking at them. And I did allow all the Nouveau drops and the Pearl drops to dry 24 hours before I came on to do this, just on the off chance they weren't all dry yet. So that's a good recommendation. The longer you can let it sit, the better, just to make sure you don't accidentally smudge something if it's not completely dry. Because the drying times will be different based on where you are, what your climate is. All right, so for the next category, I did daughter. Just kind of nudged that out. And again, kept it really simple. Did slight variations on how I laid out the dragonfly embellishments. And mixed it up a little bit with the Nouveau drops in a lot of styles that you probably will have seen me use in past videos. This is just what my eyes like. My eyes really, really, really love this layout, because I'm telling you, I have used this layout from pretty much day one when I first started learning how to do card making. So that's what I'm going to go with. You go with what aesthetic appeals to you. So, you may find this cute, but your aesthetic may be completely different, and that is perfectly fine. I don't ever offer any tips or tricks or ideas or showing you what I'm doing as this is what you have to do. It's just sort of a reference or giving you a starting point, especially if you're new, to kind of build your direction, so to speak. So that's what I like most. That's what this community is so amazing about, is there's inspiration from so many different areas in the crafting industry. So, you take that thing that somebody did, you dump it on its head and you make it your own, and that is what it is all about. So this is the ones that I made for the daughter category. And I'll put these out. I think right now at the moment, this blue I'm just in love with this blue. It is absolutely beautiful. I think that's my favorite color, which is, don't tell purple. But love it, love it, love it. I mean, it just pops right off that page or right off the card. So that is what I had done for the daughter category. And again, I know these all look the same, but my eyes are feasting on the colors. So I'm going to go through and show you the niece stack of cards, because it is gorgeous. Absolutely loving it. Okay, so this is the final set. And like I said, there's a few more. And using up the last of the scraps, that I will probably just set to music, because it's going to be the same note of what I stash busted here. I'm just using up the remnants, and I'm also using up what's left of those card bases that I cut down to the 6x6 size. So just a few edges in there I'll clean up before I pair them with envelopes and put them in the sleeves to get them ready for the craft show. I also have to come in with my stamp. Just another little side note, if you are interested in doing craft shows, I definitely recommend getting some form of a stamp with your business name, or referring to your business, or however you want to phrase it, to be able to stamp the backs of your cards. And I also had labels made, both the stamp, the wooden stamp with the little handle on it. It's not anywhere by my desk, otherwise I'd show you. I think it's with the other cards out front waiting to be stamped. But for the card bases that are dark, where the stamp wouldn't show, I had a set of labels made that say essentially the same thing as the little stamper pad, because one, you could do all stickers, but that could get pretty pricey. So I just am strategic with the stickers. So that way I only need to use them on, like if this was black cardstock, then this is the cardstock or the dark cardstocks that I would use the labels on. And then everything else that's light enough, then I will use the stamp. And I do use a dye ink because the one thing I did find out by accident early on, pigmented inks, I've had issues. They're really pretty, but when I was using them for stamping even to sentiments, I was finding that even days or weeks later, they would still smear. So from that point on, when I'm stamping sentiments and stuff like that, if it's an issue where I need to make sure that that ink is dry, I use dye inks because they do dry. They may be water reactive, so I have to be careful I don't get any water or anything liquidy on them once they're done. However, the dye inks don't smear on you. I was really shocked that they were still smearing so long after when they should have been dry. And it's not like they were in plastic or something where they didn't have enough air to dry. So I had to go back in and basically heat emboss everything that I had stamped with those pigmented inks. So they may not all be like that. So just test it out and be careful, especially if it's a project where you need to make sure that nothing smears. But just a little note on that. So that's why I've stuck to dye inks when I'm stamping stuff like this, unless it doesn't matter. If it's a personal project, then I don't care. But things that, you know, you want to put in a professional light, you want to make sure that that ink is going to be dry. And if you are ever within doubt, try using the stamp and use Versamark or some kind of an embossing ink and come in with some clear embossing powder, and then you can set it just to be sure, if you want to be 100% certain that nothing is going to smear or rub off or anything like that. So that, again, this is the second main part of the stash busting project of making cards for girls. And like I said, I will finish off using these strips because I do not want to waste any of this gorgeous paper. But whatever I do with that is just going to be a quick little video, and I'll put it on speed up. But I'm pretty sure I'm just going to make some fun, cute little rainbow cards with what's left of those, and as many of the leftover card bases as I can. So, all right, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, hopefully you guys were crafting along. This is running alongside the stash busting project that I'm doing with Dawn. Every month we do our main stash busting challenge. This is not part of that, but you can find this on the same playlist where Dawn and I's videos are at, because it has just been, as wonky as this year has been and how much my schedule has been demented of trying to keep to a schedule, the stash busting part at least has been, oh my gosh, it is so freaking satisfying. I cannot tell you enough. I'm going to say this a lot. You may get sick of me saying it, but I'm still loving it. And I actually feel like I'm really, really getting in and using stuff that I've been sitting on. So definitely dig through your craft room and move that stuff out, because if we move stuff out, then that means we have more room to get new pretty stuff. I'm just saying. And yeah. So not to be egging you on to spend money unnecessarily. However, my rule of thumb is what comes in, stuff must go out. And the best way to make it going out is to use it and make stuff. So anywho, like I said, this will be in my stash busting playlist on my page, my YouTube channel, or whatever you want to call it. This is separate from what Dawn and I is doing, yet it is still together. So anywho, all right, I'm going to wrap it up there. So take care, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.